If you're looking at the Lab 2 handout, we're somewhere around page 2. I'm going to pretty much do the example that's on there. We're going to take this larger data set, and your Lab 1 data should look a lot like this. We're going to pull out all the Wisconsin males from 2014. There's a couple of different ways to do it. First, we use Excel's filtering tools. When I'm using Excel's built-in filtering tools, the first thing I usually do is copy the entire data set to a new tab. I don't want to mess up my original data, and I want to keep track that here's the sheet where I'm doing the filtering. The original data doesn't get affected at all by this. So on the data where I'm filtering, I can go turn on at filters. You get these little boxes up here. So I said I wanted to do 2014. There's 2014. I said I wanted to do Wisconsin. Wisconsin's code is 55. And I wanted to do males. Which is 1 in this particular data set. Now what it's done, it's removed visibly all the other records, but it hasn't actually removed them. To get rid of them, now I'm going to copy again to a new sheet, and this is the filtered data. So now I have 209 records instead of the original 42,000 or so. And then with this data, since my question was 2014 Wisconsin males, now I would do my descriptive statistics on this. That's one way to do it. Another option you've got is to start with your full data set and jump right to a pivot table. Whatever you're going to do down here, we were going to do age, so let's go ahead and drag age down here. Drag it over here. It says sum. That often happens. I actually want to change that to a count. This is everybody. This is again over 42,000 observations. If you look at the lower right screen, I've got filters. So I can drag sex into there and say only the males. Then I can drag my FIPS code, my state FIP, into there and say only Wisconsin. And then I can take my year and say only 2014. And I got the same 2008 or so records that I had before. And now if I want to make a histogram, which you will do in this assignment, that's actually pretty good grouping. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. There's my frequency table to make a histogram with the records I don't want filtered out. This particular example, all values for the age are legitimate number values. With these two different methods, what I tend to do is use the filtering to remove records that I know I will never want to look at. So if I have non-numeric codes, I'll filter those out to a filtered sheet. If I'm going to be changing, oh, let's look at men, now let's look at women. Let's look at Wisconsin, now let's look at Michigan. Let's look at 2014, now let's look at 2009. If I'm going to do that, I tend to do that filtering in a pivot table. And I use this filtering process largely when I'm going to essentially wipe out data permanently, although the original data set still never gets messed with. Hope that helps you on Lab 2. If you have questions, of course, bring them to class or come by my office or talk to the tutor.